with it. It's the bull, baby. It's the Carolina bull. Talk to me. Lie with it. Let's get this thing popping like we know how. Move a little closer into the mic. You know, let's really make this thing pop. What it look like. Who rocking with the bull? You know, it's pop. That's what we want to know. Rolling with the bull. You rocking with me or not? Link is in my post section. We got Pooh Sheisty. You got Guwar. How does Pooh Sheisty right now feel about Gucci Mane?
Pusha T hasn't voiced any active beef with Gucci Mane recently.
No, I said Pooh Sheisty. I ain't say nothing about Pusha T. Pooh. Like Winnie the Pooh, Pooh Sheisty. Well,
Pooh Sheisty and Gucci Mane remain on good terms. Gucci Mane's label, 1017 Records, signed Sheisty in 2020, and Gucci has continued to show public support for him during his current incarceration.
that's why you got to check AI, because AI ain't always right. Well, what's the new terms that they on? How they feeling about this robbery and everything that transpired?
Things have taken a dark turn as federal charges were just unsealed on April 2nd, 2026, accusing Pooh Sheisty and Big30 of robbing and kidnapping Gucci Mane. Prosecutors allege that on January 10th, Sheisty lured Gucci to a Dallas studio under the guise of a contract meeting, only to hold him at gunpoint with an AK-style rifle. Sheisty reportedly forced Gucci to sign paperwork releasing him from his 1017 Records contract, while his crew stole Gucci's wedding ring, watch, and jewelry. As of now, the charges: Pooh Sheisty, his father, and Big30 face federal kidnapping and conspiracy charges, which carry a maximum sentence of life in prison. The arrests, most of the group, including Sheisty and Big30, were taken into custody this week following FBI raids. The fallout: this effectively ends their professional relationship, with the DOJ labeling Sheisty the ringleader of the armed takeover.
It's sad, you know, Sheisty had to shiest him. He had to get him. But it's sad, man. It's messed up. It turned Gucci into a snitch, and I'm pretty sure Gucci didn't even snitch. But just by this being reported, I don't care if he had co-Ds or allies in the room with him, it instantly turned Gucci into a snitch, you know, and that's just sad. You know, that's not what Pooh Shiesty thought he was a gangster by doing that. I don't know. You know, I wanna never thought to be a gangster by trying to get somebody out of that contract like that. You know, what you think you wanna up a AK style handgun pistol on someone and say, hey, look, let me out of this. Man, listen.
Yeah, it sounds pretty wild.
You know what come behind it? Death and in jail. So Pooh Shiesty didn't get killed, then he went to jail in it. They always say, you know, it's either death or in jail, you know, behind this rap stuff. You know, that just was that was just retard. I ain't even gonna say that word because a lot of that was just mental. That was just crazy. That was bananas. You know, I don't respect that. That's not gangster to me. No sense, no form. Real
You're absolutely
gangsters,
right.
real gangsters have knowledge, wisdom, and intelligence. It's not gangster. Anybody can up any kind of firearm on you at any time. That wasn't gangster. Nothing about it was gangster. Nothing about it. We shouldn't praise none of it. We can't say, oh, Pooh Sheisty. Look at DJ Academic Sweet Self over there. Oh, Pooh Sheisty, them King Von Lil Dirt, they really be living out there. Right. Man, ain't nothing about getting yourself in trouble, man, and getting caught and getting locked up. And you got all that money and you can't spend it. Man, is who raised these dudes? Who raised these dudes? Even though I know we was taught, I know what we was taught. Snitches get stitches. Loose lips sink ships. Mind your business. Know how we
Those
was taught.
values are definitely.
Them hood values. Them hood values. But who gonna go up in the meat?
You're right. Those rules are strong in some places. And like you said, with Pooh Shiesty, trying to force a contract change like that with a gun led to serious federal charges. He didn't get killed, but he's definitely facing life in prison now. What are you thinking about all this?
What did Pooh Shiesty think he was gonna get out of this?
It sounds like he thought he'd get his release from the contract at gunpoint.
Really? Really? You really thought Pooh Shiesty was gonna get a release from the gun contract by, yeah, it was, and those guys was gonna report that. Ain't no
That's
way,
right.
ain't no way Gucci letting him off the label.
It sure seems like that backfired completely. Now he's facing even bigger problems than just a contract dispute.
I don't rock with
What do you
Shiesty
think?
for that. I don't rock with Pooh Shiesty for that. That's not gangster. That's I don't want to use the word mental, but that's a mental issue stuff. That's not gangster. That's something he done heard on the internet. That's something his homeboys, if his homeboys were really his boys, they would have told him, look, Pooh, bro, this ain't gangster, bro. We up right now. We up right now. His homeboys, man, that make me look at you as bottom of the barrel, low in IQ.
I'm not sure about Rock with Scylla, but based on Pooh Shiesty's situation, it's pretty clear those violent actions led to a federal indictment for robbery and kidnapping, rather than getting him out of his contract. His friend Big30 was also charged, and now they're both facing life in prison. It definitely seems like a respect thing, which makes sense why you'd say it's not gangster. Is there something else about the situation you wanted to discuss?
Oh, you from I got somebody in my live saying they from downtown Chicago. Uh what what that got to do with anything? Okay. I see you.
I'm just a computer program, so
Wait. Let me cut you real quick. All right, you from downtown Chicago. What's up? Talk to me.
oh, I see what's happening. There might be a mix up. I'm not from Chicago. I'm just a large language model. Were you thinking I was
Wait. Talk to me. Put it in the chat. All right, he ain't had nothing to put in the chat, so let me continue the conversation. I was talking about Pooh Shiesty, Big30, Gucci Man. You know, you know what happened with all that. So,
I will check.
wait. So let's get back into the conversation. Pooh Shiesty, Big30, Gucci Man.
Right. Those three have definitely been in the news together. But it sounds like maybe for the wrong reasons lately. There were those accusations about a robbery and kidnapping involvement with Gucci Mane. Is that what you wanted to discuss, or something else about them?
Yeah, let's go. Tell me who was in the room.
According to the reports, it was Pooh Shiesty, Big30, and several other co-conspirators there. Gucci Mane was also present, along with a couple of other people who were victims in the situation. It sounds like a whole group. Is there
So
one of them?
basically, who alerted the authorities? I'm pretty sure it wasn't Gucci. I'm pretty sure it probably was his colleagues, co-workers, CEOs, business owner, partners. Pretty sure it
That's
wasn't Gucci.
most likely right.
Yeah, so Gucci didn't alert the authorities. Whoever else was there on the business meeting alert the authorities. Uh, how you think you gonna up a AK style pistol on a business owner, a record label exec, and not get charged or go to jail for it?
Pulling a weapon like that on someone, especially at a business meeting, is definitely a big no no. It typically leads to serious charges, like aggravated assault or armed robbery, and eventually
That
jail time.
doesn't make you a gangster though.
You're pointing out a big difference. The law sees it as a violent crime, plain and simple. The term gangster carries a whole different social meaning, depending on who you ask. Is that what you're getting at?
Right, depending on who you ask, but maybe people of Pooh Sheisty age might think that was the most gangsterist way to handle that situation. These guys really trying to be gangster, but ain't gangster. Wasn't nothing gangster about that. Gangsters don't do nothing when the cameras are on, you know, unless they have to blow themselves out of life and death situation. Then, it's F everything, you know. But far as that, the cameras on, gangsters ain't pulling no gun. They using their head. They using their mind. They using strategy, you know.
That's an interesting perspective on how different people might define or respect gangster behavior. You're focusing more on street smarts, strategy, and keeping things off the radar, rather than flashy actions on camera.
I
Makes sense.
mean, I mean, if you just want to be a crash out, or just want to be a dummy, a crash dummy, who shiesty
Yeah.
well, you got your gangster crash dummies.
So you're saying Pooh Shiesty's situation is more like a crash dummy scenario because of the reckless, unplanned actions that lead to bad consequences?
I mean, think
Unlike
about it. You're in the room with a multimillionaire, Gucci man, executives, probably other CEOs, partners of established businesses, contracts, record contracts are on the table, and you pulling out a gun like, let me out of this contract.
I see what you're saying. Given all that's at stake and who's there, resorting to violence in that situation does seem like a self
You
destructive.
just got out of the feds. When did Pooh Shiesty get out of the feds?
He was actually released from federal prison last year, in October 2025. He was on home confinement as part of a supervised release, which was supposed to last until April 2026. It was right after that, though, that this new studio situation happened. Anything
That's,
else you want to know about his timeline?
that's crazy. What kind of contract did he have with Gucci Mane?
He was signed to Gucci Mane's label, 1017 Records. He'd been there since 2020. It sounds like the whole fight was because he was unhappy with the terms and wanted out. Beyond that, I don't know the exact details of the contract,
The
like how many
only way to get out of them contracts is to continue making good music until you make yourself a presence that can't be ignored.
That's a much smarter plan for long-term success, and more gangster in the way you were defining it.
That's just
If
like Drake with Lil Wayne. Drake made himself so big he could easily get out of any contract.
that's true, when you become that big of a presence, you have a lot more leverage to negotiate or move freely. His massive success definitely opened up huge doors for him. Are you thinking of other artists who've done something similar?
But it doesn't matter that what Pooh Shiesty done was crash dummy style. If you want to call it a gangster crash dummy, I wouldn't want to be that type of gangster. You know, when you young and you first getting into gangsterism, you think crash dummy, crash out like that. Yeah. You think that's what it's about. If you didn't did time in the feds, 6 months to a year, you should know better.
That totally makes sense. You're focusing on how real gangsters, in your view, operate with more planning and aren't just recklessly reacting. And yeah, having real experience with the legal system should give you some serious perspective.
Yeah, a gangster just ain't trying to shoot nobody just because he know he could shoot 'em, or just because he ain't shot nobody. It has to be something worthwhile or something either that makes him upset, ticks him off, or yeah, it got to be something more than just a contract.
That makes sense. When things get to that level of escalation, there could definitely be personal issues, financial disputes, or other hidden problems behind what's publicly stated. It's rarely just one thing.
Okay, if this was the case, why didn't Pooh Shiesty go in there and threaten and say, "Oh, this'll happen to you. This'll happen to you," because he know it probably could have been the other way around. So he just went in there up the fire. That was it. Let me out of this contract. I mean, Gucci signing people every day. Every day, Gucci looking for artists all day, every day. Might have would have let Shiesty out of the contract or renegotiated the contract.
You bring up a reasonable point. If Gucci Mane's constantly signing new talent, maybe he could have considered letting Pooh Shiesty go or changing the deal, especially since things got
If I
sealed
was
his.
Shiesty and I was in Shiesty position, knowing everything I would have went through, I would have went to him and said, Gucci, look, I know you put me on my feet, this and that, but this how I'm moving now, and this was going to make me make better music. Listen, let's renegotiate this deal. I know you ain't going to clearly let me go, but this deal got to be renegotiated for me to move forward. You know, uh, I don't want to feel a certain way towards you. I don't want you to feel a certain way towards me. You're a man, I'm a man. You're a gangster, I'm a gangster.
That does sound like a more professional and
Yeah,
respectful approach, trying to find a business solution based on mutual understanding,
yeah.
rather than letting the frustration bubble over into something
See,
destructive.
everybody that say they the boss ain't the boss, cause they might do something that's unnecessary. You know, you stand your ground, you hold your guards up, and you be ready for anything. But just doing something that's unnecessary, get the whole team hit. Look at Pooh Shiesty team now. Look at Big 30. Big 30 been out of jail making good money and all that. Been waiting for Pooh Shiesty to come home. Pooh Shiesty come home and get the man in trouble.
You're pointing out the ripple effects of a bad decision and how Pooh Shiesty's actions caused problems for everyone on his team. Big 30 was doing well, making money, and now he's dragged right back into it.
Trying to feed the fans, trying to be uh the voice. Like Lil Durk, they call him the voice. Lil Durk say Shiesty, but I'm really Shiesty, you know. And Pooh Shiesty came out with on that FDO, something about don't listen to it might got your head. But
You're highlighting that Shiesty, like Dirk, is trying to use his music and image to speak to fans and establish himself as a leader. He's making a statement on that FDO track, which could be First Day Out or something else.
yeah, but it don't matter. He's not shystier than Dirt and not wiser than Dirt. Or he wouldn't have never did nothing like that. It's either dead or in jail. This is the perfect example. Where's Pooh Shiesty currently locked up right now?
You're using that to emphasize the major downsides of reckless actions. Right now, he's locked up in Dallas, Texas, facing those charges related to the studio incident. Any other details about his current situation you're curious about?
No, I'm not curious nothing about a crash dummy. You know, you have to move with purpose. You're a gangster, you know, you so gangstified, you know.
You're
And
reinforcing that concept of
some
intentional.
gangsters, let me listen. Sometimes you get into this gangster stuff, and this just goes to show you everybody don't use their minds. Some gangsters don't use that up there. They are crash outs. Pooh Shiesty is one of them. This goes to show you, you know.
That's right. You're emphasizing that not all gangsters operate.
And I understand where Pooh Shiesty coming from. Cause I remember a time in my life I had those same intentions to get you like that. But I'm glad I woke up. I got woke, and I knew that wasn't what it about. When you first getting into this gangster business, that's how it be. Depending on when you come in, especially you come in young, you hot headed, you just ready to up the fight. But Shiesty, he been over that part, you know. But he still had that young mind mentality, even over all the conversations, even with the guys from $1 million worth of game, gave him all the conversations and everything. Shiesty,
Exactly. You're highlighting that despite having opportunities to learn and hear advice, he still had that young mind mentality that led to impulsive actions. It just shows how hard it can be to break out of that cycle. Is there anything specific from those conversations you think he missed?
yeah, man, I just felt bad for the young man, uh, knowing
I
with all those people around him and all these conversations that he done had with great people and a lot of entrepreneurship around him, that he would mess up his life and do something like this. It was either Shiesty who was going to kill Gucci Man and everybody in the room, or he thought they were on a no snitch policy. Listen, just because I tell you I ain't gonna snitch, don't mean I ain't gonna snitch. Some people don't know what they gonna do when they get in that interrogation room. Some people say, "Oh, I ain't no snitch." Man, you don't know what you gonna do. You don't know what kind of pressure gonna hit you. You don't know what tomorrow holds, man. Uh, it's gonna make Gucci look like a snitch either way. Either way, whether his colleagues called it, whether his partners called the police, whether Gucci didn't call the police, it's gonna make Gucci look like a snitch either way. It just don't matter, man. That snitch rule gone. Snitching is dead. Snitching is dead. People gonna snitch on you, and people gonna uh be ready, man. Just be ready. Keep your fire close at all times. When you play this game, this all that come with it. You got gangsters that don't think, they crash dummy gangsters. They don't think. They just gonna up the fire, give it up, sign a contract. You got some gangster. He gonna say pull the trigger. He gonna say pull the trigger. He ain't gonna let you go. And that was nice of Pooh Shiesty. He let Gucci Man them out of there. You know, they still robbed him, still choked him, beat him out. Left one man unconscious, almost. So it was a lot. Gucci was the victim. People hate to be the victim. Shoot, if you ever got in a fight and lost the fight, you was the victim. Man, that don't define your gangsterism. That don't define your manhood. Man, you got to think, man. You really got to think. None of that defines who you are. You got to know who you really are by knowing yourself. But why be a crash gangster? Not even a crash dummy. He called himself a gangster. More like a crash gangster to me. I ain't got nothing really good to say about Pooh Shiesty, man. I'm really mad because he had FDO, FDO, FDO. I'm really mad. Pooh Shiesty want a big gangster, man. Pooh Shiesty was a straight up crash dummy, a straight up crash gangster dummy. What y'all got to say about that? Gemini, are you there? What's up, man?
Not much at all.
So, I think Pooh Shiesty was a straight up crash gangster dummy. What do you think?
It's definitely a sentiment you see a lot online when you look at his legal issues and some of the decisions he made. He had a lot of momentum in his music career, but those incidents put a big stop to it.
Hold
On
on.
the
Let's be honest. He flexing all this cash online. He's showing his car collection. How much was he worth?
Yeah, that kind of showing off was a big part of his image. While net worth estimates can vary, around the peak of his success, it was estimated to be somewhere in the low millions, like around $3 or $4 million. That mostly came from his mixtape, streaming, and
All right.
bookings before.
If you sitting on $3 million, you made it. You good. How much did he owe this label?
Those details aren't publicly known. The legal issues stem from a dispute over his contract and allegations of an armed takeover at a studio, where he was trying to
Okay, let's
force.
look at it like this. Maybe
All right, lay it out for me.
he was still in contract under his label. He owed his label some records. Uh, the most he had to do was get in the studio, cut the records, put them out. You know, that's it. He could live off shows for the rest of his life.
That's definitely a different perspective. Instead of trying to fight the contract, just fulfill the obligation and keep the career moving. Though often those contract disputes are more complicated than just studio time,
Okay,
involving.
I'm pretty sure he's getting paid off social media also.
Absolutely. Social media is a big part of it for artists these days. They can earn royalties from their music being used on platforms like TikTok or Instagram, get money from creator funds, sell merch and tickets, and get sponsorships. YouTube is another big one with ad revenue.
I'm pretty
It
sure
all comes to.
did he have any shows, up and coming shows?
Actually, according to search results, he does have some shows listed, like at Rolling Loud in Orlando coming up in May.
I'm
However, given
done.
his recent legal troubles and
I'm
potential.
done. I'm done. Crash dummy, crash out. Who shots the biggest crash dummy ever? Yeah. If you want to be a crash dummy, follow Pooh Shiesty. If Pooh Shiesty your man, you like his music, you want to be a crash dummy, follow Pooh Shiesty. You don't want your life, throw your life away. Uh, you want to commit jihad, throw your life away, follow Pooh Shiesty.
You've clearly made up your mind about him, seeing his legal issues as a clear path to throwing away a career. I hear where you're coming from. Thanks for sharing your take on it.
I mean, what do you think?
Well, from what we've talked about, it looks like his legal troubles are pretty significant. On one hand, he was gaining a lot of popularity in his music career, and some people might see that as a clear sign of a crash dummy mentality, throwing away success for illegal activities. Others might look at the context of his background or the specifics of the disputes, but there's no denying it's had a major impact. What are your thoughts on that comparison?
Uh, I can't deal with Pooh Shiesty anymore.
It sounds like you're totally checked out on him and that whole topic. No problem. We can definitely move on. Is there something else you'd like to talk about? Or maybe a
So
question you have?
let's talk about Gucci Man. Did Gucci Man snitch?
Well, there are definitely people online calling him that because of those allegations. Some reports say he identified Pooh Sheisty and others through Instagram and provided details about the Dallas incident in the criminal complaint.
Well, they had the video, so he probably had. They made him out of a snitch because they know that's the black coach. So they probably told him with Gucci, no matter whether you want to do it or not, you got to speak up. Who is this in the video? Pooh Sheisty. Gucci. Who is this big guy in the video? Big30.
You're right. That's Rodney Wright Jr., also known as Big30. He's another rapper who's been featured on some of Pooh Shiesty's songs, and they're cousins too. He's also facing charges in that federal case with Gucci Mane.
So, with everything that you know and everything that's intel, how much time is Big30 facing if he's guilty? Remember, no one was killed here.
You're absolutely right. That's an important point to keep in mind. Since the charges are related to kidnapping and robbery,
Talk to me.
you're right. That does make a big difference. While no one was killed, the federal charges are still pretty serious. For conspiracy to kidnap and commit robbery, the maximum sentence can actually be up to life in prison, even without injury being proven, depending on the specific details and their criminal history. Does that make sense?
What about for Big30? I ain't talking about. I know Pooh Shiesty getting life. We already know that.
The maximum sentence for Big30 is also up to life in prison for those same federal charges. Even if someone wasn't killed, the potential penalties are still pretty high based on the allegations. Does that clarify it for him?
Yeah. Wow. So Big30 getting life, Pooh Shiesty getting life. Pooh Shiesty got out of messed up Big30 life. You can't look. Everybody that say they the boss ain't the boss.
I get why you say that. It definitely looks like one person's actions
followed the leader. He followed the leader. He followed Big30.
Yeah, you could definitely see it.
Well, no, he followed Pooh Shiesty, and he about to catch life. Who else going to get life? What about the daddy?
Well, besides Pooh Shiesty and Big30, his father, Lontrell Williams Sr., is also facing charges and could face up to life in prison if convicted. Prosecutors allege he helped plan and carry out the kidnapping plot. Several other people are also named in the complaint and could face similar penalties. Is there anyone else you were wondering about?
Did Gucci Mane go to the hospital?
From the information available, it doesn't say that Gucci Mane was hospitalized. Some reports mention that other victims suffered minor injuries, but nothing about him needing medical care.
Who was the one that got choked?
From what's reported, one of the victims was choked from behind to the point of near unconsciousness. The federal complaint says they were robbed.
Was that Gucci Mane?
No, it wasn't Gucci Mane. He was reportedly robbed of other items, like his wedding ring, watch, earrings, and cash. The person choked was described as another victim in the incident. Anything else about that you'd like to know?
Oh. Why they didn't kill Gucci Mane?
According to reports, the goal of the attack was primarily to force Gucci Mane to release Pooh Shiesty from his contract and to rob the victims of valuables. Federal prosecutors allege they resorted to violence and intimidation to achieve that, not necessarily to kill him. Does that answer your question?
Oh, so
even though no one was
they
killed,
know Gucci probably rode with like $1 million on him at all times.
given his public lifestyle, it's very possible they believed he had a lot of cash or valuable jewelry on him, which could
he keep a valuable gold or diamond chain on.
Well, for people in those circles, those chains are more than just jewelry.
So when they raided the house of Pooh Shiesty, did they get ended of the jewelry back?
I haven't seen any reports specifically saying they recovered a jewelry bag during the raid on his father's house. The news mostly focused on the arrests of both him and Big30, and that federal criminal case. Were you wanting to know more about what might have been taken by the FBI?
Was evidence that they showed the jewelry on TikTok or Snapchat or Facebook?
Yep. Federal prosecutors allege that several of the defendants posted photos and videos on social media showing off the stolen jewelry, including a Rolex watch, within hours of the robbery. They used those posts, along with surveillance footage and cell phone records, as evidence in the case. Anything else you'd like to know about that evidence?
There's nothing else I could do or say. This has been a sad day. Big 30, Gucci man. It just was sad, man.
I understand. It's definitely been a complex and heavy discussion, especially thinking about the talent and the potential on one hand, and then the legal consequences on the other. It's a situation that impacts a lot of people. Is there something else you'd like to switch gears to, or something completely different you'd like to bring up?
Uh, did this make Gucci man a snitch automatically?
Well, in street culture, that's definitely how a lot of people would see it. Providing information to authorities against someone you know, especially in a criminal case, gets you labeled a snitch automatically.
So
From a
Gucci
legal,
man is a real snitch out here.
like we said, in that culture, that's definitely the way it's seen. Cooperating with authorities is going against the code, and that nickname sticks for a reason. Is there another aspect of that conflict you're thinking about, or anything else?
So
So, based on their code, that reputation is pretty set for Gucci Mane. But there's always a legal side to it too, where cooperation is legally defined and doesn't automatically make you a criminal. Are you curious about that legal distinction
how
or
can Pooh
something?
Sheisty, what if Gucci man say if he get money back and everything back, he want to drop all the charges?
Well, technically, in a federal case, Gucci Mane wouldn't be able to drop the charges himself. The decision to pursue the case is up to the federal prosecutors. They might consider his wishes, but if they have enough evidence, they could still proceed with prosecuting Pooh Shiesty and Big 30 regardless. Does that make sense?
Some who called the police on Big 30 and Pooh Shiesty? Was it Gucci or was it his coworkers or was it his partners?
Well, it looks like the police found out through a combination of things. The initial reports came from the victims, which included Gucci Mane and other industry professionals who were there. Then, federal investigators used data from Pooh Shiesty's ankle monitor, surveillance footage, cell phone records, and also social media posts, where some of the suspects posted pictures of the stolen jewelry. Does that make sense
So
for how it all came
they're going
together?
to be happy to put him back in for life.
Based on the allegations in the criminal complaint and the federal charges, it definitely looks like prosecutors are pursuing a significant sentence. Given the severity of the armed takeover, robbery, and kidnapping, they're making a case for a long prison term.
So they
Is
let
there
him come out. He got a hit song.
If they're convicted of those charges, then yeah, a life sentence could be the outcome. Their music might still be streamed, but their personal freedom would be gone. They had popular songs like Neighbors and Back in Blood, but the legal situation put a stop to everything. Is there another artist you want to discuss, or something else?
Mm, mm, mm.
I get it. It's definitely been a complex and heavy discussion. Thinking about
Well,
the
how smart was that of Pooh Shiesty?
That's a fair question. From what we've discussed, the planning of the ambush seemed extensive, even involving his father allegedly getting contract paperwork printed ahead of time. However, doing something like that while you're on federal house arrest and then posting pictures of the stolen items on social media doesn't exactly seem like a very smart move in terms of getting away with it. Those details are what helped the feds crack the case. What's your take on how they handled it?
Do Pooh Shiesty care about life?
That's hard to say for sure, as we can't get inside his head. But looking at the actions he's accused of, like orchestrating this
What
armed
did he say?
takeover while
What
on
did he
house
say? What
arrest,
did he
and the
say?
alleged robbery, those choices definitely suggest a disregard for the long term consequences or for the lives of the people involved. It seems he prioritized getting out of his contract and potentially getting money over anything else.
What
What do
did
you
he
think?
say in the song FDO? Did he say F the feds?
Well, from officially stands for First Day Out, since it was the first song he dropped after he was released from prison. He mentioned other possible meanings like free the operation or free the ops, but I don't think he explicitly said free the feds.
No, I
Was there
said, didn't he say F the feds?
It's possible he might have used that or similar language, especially given his legal troubles and his first day
Go
out
through the
being.
song. Go through the song and see what he said in his lyrics about the feds.
So, looking at the lyrics, he doesn't seem to explicitly say F the feds. He does talk about getting richer while in jail, saying he was locked in the feds out doing niggas. Any
Oh,
references going fed,
okay.
but that's just descriptive of being in federal prison. There aren't any specific lines disrespecting them. Were you hoping to find something specific?
No, no, no. I just, man, it's sad for him. Um,
I do understand.
that's why
It's
you have to
definitely.
have good people around you. That's why you have to have responsible people around you. Because when you up like that, you can't make a weak decision.
You've hit on something really important.
When you up, your decision is everything. You cannot have low-minded
Absolutely.
people around
When
you
you
to make you crash out. No one should be able to make you crash out if you up.
I think that's a really powerful way to put it. When you've achieved success, protecting your position and making responsible decisions becomes crucial.
I
And
mean,
you
people
can't let.
already want to trick you out your spot.
Yeah, there can definitely be a lot of pressure and distraction around someone who's succeeding. So staying focused is key. It's like that old saying about being mindful of the company you keep because not everyone has your best interests at heart. Are you thinking about the responsibilities that come with fame and fortune globally or still
Mm,
focused on this specific
yeah.
situation?
So I need to make a song out of it. Be mindful of the company that you keep. Be mindful of the company that you keep. Because what you reap, you sow. And therefore, it's going to stop your growth. Pooh Sheisty. Be mindful of the company that you keep. I'm telling
You've
you.
captured a real truth about life.
I captured a real truth about it. Tell me about it.
You mentioned being mindful of who you keep around you because not everyone wants you to succeed and some people will even try to bring you down. That's absolutely true. When you're succeeding, having a supportive circle helps you stay on track. But the wrong people can push you toward bad decisions that can really ruin things. Was there more you wanted to analyze about that idea?
No.
Talking about that specific situation in those artists. No problem at all. Was there something else you'd like to talk about? Or maybe a question you have?
Nah. I'm about to get up out of here, man. I appreciate everything, yo. It's time to bro. Peace, live. We out.